This is the generation that can get anything delivered to their door in minutes, but can't afford the door. They're told to hustle, but they see the rewards for that hustle getting further and further away. They've been called lazy, entitled, and disloyal. But what if they aren't lazy? What if they're just playing a game that feels rigged and have finally decided to stop playing by the old rules? This isn't a story about a generation giving up. It's the story of how Gen Z is canceling the old American dream to build something that actually works. For generations, the American dream was simple. Work hard, buy a home, build a family, and retire. But for Gen Z, that script is crumbling. Home ownership, a fantasy, as prices and rents skyrocket while wages stagnate, leaving 60% convinced they'll never own property. Upward mobility, the odds of out-earning your parents have collapsed from 90% to 50% in just 2 generations. Even education, once the surest path forward, now shackles graduates with debt that delays marriages, kids, and security. This isn't laziness. It's a rigged system where hard work no longer pays off, and the dream feels more like a treadmill no one can escape. This economic squeeze isn't just about money. It's having a real human cost. Gen Z is one of the most stressed and anxious generations, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. They're rejecting the whole hustle culture mentality because they've seen exactly where that road leads, straight to burnout city with nothing to show for it. There's this growing realization that the system, it just isn't playing fair. Think about it. They watched their parents get wrecked in the 2008 crash, came of age during a global pandemic, and now they're stuck dealing with insane inflation. Yeah, that'll give anyone trust issues. The numbers don't lie. Nearly 40% of young adults believe the American dream is completely out of reach, and they're not being negative. They're being painfully realistic. They've learned the hard way that company loyalty is usually a one-way street, especially when you can get laid off in a 30-second Zoom call. So why kill yourself for a company that would replace you before your goodbye email even hits their inbox? But here's what everyone gets wrong. Gen Z isn't giving up. They're just rewriting the rules. This cancellation of the old dream, it's not destruction, it's a revolution. They're trading corner offices for control. That's why we're seeing freelancing boom, side hustles explode, not to avoid work, but to own it. Work to live, never live to work, experiences over possessions. Shockingly savvy with savings, yet they'll invest in memories before mortgages. Not frivolous, strategic, building meaning, not just wealth. Mental health, non-negotiable. Boundaries, ironclad. This seismic shift, it's the only logical response to a broken system. Some are even finding their dream somewhere with cheaper rent and healthcare that doesn't bankrupt you. Now that's smart. So, is Gen Z really canceling the American dream? Or are they the first generation brave enough to admit it was already canceled on them? They looked at the rigged game, the impossible math, the sky-high cost that demanded everything from their well-being, and said, no, not like this. They chose to write a new playbook, one that works for them. This isn't some story of giving up. No, it's a story of resilience, of adaptation, of a radical reimagining of what success really means. They aren't presiding over the dream's funeral. They're sketching out blueprints for its rebirth. And maybe, just maybe, the dream they build will be more fulfilling and more attainable for all of us.